Do you remember when you decided you first wanted to do stand-up? Like not not at like a comedy show, but like when you like out loud said that you were going to do comedy for the first time.
Out loud?
Yeah, we like told somebody, I think I'm gonna do stand-up.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the time frame area. Yeah.
What was the situation?
My grandfather had died, and I was like looking at. I scanned all these photos of my grandfather, and it was like 400 photos. And my friend Clyde Scott, not the comedian, and he was putting them together for me. Right now he directs a wall cast at the New World Symphony. He's done a bunch of. He used to have his own motion graphics company, and he's like, he's a wizard and all that stuff. So he was putting it together to make it look like we were looking through photos at the memorial of my grandfather. And he's like one of these people that had done so much stuff in his life. Like there was photos of him and his friends like dressed up, like he was dressed like a gorilla, and someone else like in the Swiss Alps and they're skiing. The next one was they're down in the Bahamas doing something. And then he was like, like eating some sort of weird food, and then he was doing this. And he was like all over the world and had all these experiences. And he also had a business that he, built basically from the ground up with a couple of partners. And he was like, it was really cool people. Right. And it kind of made me think like that my life was boring,
Sure.
And I was like, not boring. I mean, I had accomplished stuff to that point, but I still was just like, man, I'm gonna probably start making a list of things I should do, so that when I'm older, my 70s, I'm not like bit.
Right.
Yeah. And that was like one of the first things. And I was like, I'm gonna try stand-up comedy, because I've always wanted to do it. I've always been into stand-up comedy. I remember watching, stand-up comedy since I was a kid and trying to be funny in school and whatever, but. It's funny because most people were like, well, you're not funny,
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's like...
Because it's either way, like you tell people like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I can see you doing that, and the other people are like...
But it's rarely the guy that you think is like funny,
right?
Like a class clown, that makes him a comedy.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
Right.
Because a class clown is just like, throws the pencil at the back of the teacher's head. It's not really like a bit you could do. Right. Yeah, that guy would probably be famous, actually. He just came and just threw shit at the audience. We're like, it's amazing. You gotta wear a face mask. Your eyes poked out.
While singing Michael Jackson.
Yeah. But I mean, I was always super dry.
Yeah.
And sarcastic. One of my favorite comics growing up was Gary Shandling. Obviously passed away not too long ago. And he was like super dry. Like, if you you've never seen anything Gary Shandling, he was like, Mr. Dry, and that's like probably why I was like that, because I used to watch like his specials and things like that. But and that was it. And then I went to the Miami Improv open mic and sat there for 3 different weeks and watched them. I was basically watching it to make sure I wasn't the worst.
Right. Yeah.
The first one I went to, I was like, I'm not going to do this, because it was like a couple comics you're not going to know, but one of them was Al Jackson, but it was all people that were like really good. That I was like, I can't do this. And then the shit show came out, and I was like, oh, I got this. Like, I don't have anything prepared.
Right.
But then, just like, I was like, oh, okay. But I still sat there for 3 weeks, and then finally, like, I got the nerve, but remember, it was just like terrifying.
How'd it go?
Well, I had like 78 friends come, the first show was like, you gotta bring 10 friends, and everyone was like, we want to come see this train wrecking. I mean...
Isn't that funny how that is?
And then the second show was like 50-something people, and then it was like by the third or fourth show, I was like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We don't want to sit through your bullshit and all that other bullshit, and have to spend like $60 for the improv.
Yeah.
And at that point, I started doing like open mics and like the real shit shows, because the improv was fake. But I mean, it went okay. I mean, I remember staring into the lights. I never even talked into a microphone before that. Like, I never even like,
Right.
Well, maybe I talked to the microphone like at a wedding. Like, I'd like to have a toast. And I was and I never performed anything. So I just stared in the lights, and I had singing in my act.
You used to sing in your act?
I didn't sing. I just had a thing about...
It was Bernie Mac talking to Michael Jackson.
Literally, most of my set was about cats, which it still is now. So I was like... But it was about my cats, me telling them, having to find a way to tell them that they were adopted. Right?
Okay.
And then, great joke, guys. I don't know why that didn't get a bell ring. But then I would like say, one of them was acting out and got all 6 of her nipples pierced, and I got this. Yeah. And by the end, I had this whole thing where I was like singing to my cat, and I was singing another person that just recently died, Prince, Kiss, that song. why would I put that in my act? I'm not a singer.
Right.
I was like, this will be good. Something else I'm not good at. I'm petrified. Let's compound it in my opening act.
Comedy and singing, two things.
But it was okay. And then the second set, I kind of got rid of that. My second set, all new material.
Sure.
Louis C.K.
Right. Always.
Boy.
Yeah. So I was like, and then I remember there was a couple comics that I thought were funny. Al Jackson, Oni Perez, and they both, and there was one other guy, I'm just forgetting, but Al took me aside after the second set and he goes, oh man, you're really funny, you should stick with us, and we have a group, we write together and we go do shows. And I was like, oh man, thank God that was the guy that picked me, because if it was the other guy, not pick me, but if it was another guy that came up that was like, shit, like, you're pretty good, I'd be like, I'm quitting.
Right, yeah.
And then that was it. And then I had like a good group of comics. Like it was like me and Al Jackson, Oni Perez, this guy Tim Golden, eventually Lisa Correo, who's my girlfriend now, and Neri Signs is another comic, and John Vargas, who lives out here now. And we all kind of stuck together and wrote, and we're on the road. Kind of similar to like your group, where you're like, you have a good group of people.
Yeah.
That's all it is, you know?
Yeah.
You learn really quick, because looking back, I thought everyone was amazing when I first started. Now, some of them are still open micing, and I look back, like, I thought that guy was good. Like, imagine if I would have just became friends with him, like, let's write and do it, and just gone this wrong path, you know? So,
Yep.
It's like, so.
That question was posed the other day about when you decided to first do comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To you?
Yeah.
Where at? On another podcast?
No, it's just a bunch of comics sitting around talking. And I remember mine distinctly. I was at a bar with my buddy and drinking a whole bottle of Jaeger.
Yeah.
Drinking Justin.
And I told him, I think I'm gonna do stand-up comedy.
It was before you're drinking tea.
Right, yeah, this is before, yeah. And I go, I think I'm gonna try stand-up comedy. And he goes, yeah, you should. And then I went home and I threw up on my dog.
Ah, yeah.
Which should have been.
In Indian cultures, that's a sign.
Yeah, I know, that's the same. I should listen to the signs.